Good evening. My name is Rob McLennan, and I serve on the DC Preservation League's Board of Trustees. I've said many times before, one of the most rewarding parts of my role as a volunteer for DCPL is chairing the Project Review Committee, which assesses the preservation aspects of local development that either affects landmarks or affects properties within historic districts. We are fortunate to have some of the city's best architects, historians, engineers, and general contractors serve on this committee, helping ensure the history and character of the city is honored, even through new development. Tonight, I am pleased to present the awards for design and construction. What do a horse stable, a Beaux-Arts apartment building, and a government office building have in common? Not a lot, honestly. What they did have were good bones and quality teams who respected the buildings and were committed to breathing new life into these important landmarks. Congratulations to the recipients of the 2020 District of Columbia Awards for Excellence in Historic Preservation for Design and Construction.
In 1912, for a commercial light industrial building, they hired an architect. They went to the trouble of having arched windows and beautiful cornices and other features, even though it was a steel and concrete building. That's why these old industrial buildings are so treasured by us now, because you can see the care that went into them.
For businessman J. Edward Chapman, progress brought opportunity. Purchasing land in 1906 between Hanover and N Street Northwest, he built a coal yard and stables that could board more than 100 horses. But after a fire in 1910 damaged the stables, Chapman reassessed his business. The automobile was taking over. In 1912, he built a two-story garage facing N Street that would house 75 cars on the first floor and an auto painting business on the second.
He kind of saw the writing on the wall and decided that automobiles were taking the place of horses. And so it was the first, as I said, purpose-built building to deal with automobiles.
Always being cost-conscious, he didn't tear down the remnants of the stable, and he didn't tear down the remnants of his old coal building either. He just built those into the building. So those are all part of the fabric of the building.
In 2013, the garage building was listed in the DC Inventory of Historic Sites. Real estate developers 4 Points LLC would go on to purchase the property to develop a 114-unit condo building.
The property had been on the market previously, and I looked at it then. Didn't sell, and so I was walking by it maybe a year later, and on the sidewalk looked up and saw the cornice again. And it's just such an impressive architectural element. I hurried home and actually wrote a letter to the current owner to see if we could buy it. And he agreed to talk with us.
The housing complex is comprised of the existing historic structure, as well as a new addition in the rear.
We tried to really make sure there was a very clean separation between the existing and the new. And then we tried to touch existing in just one small area.
There was a bunch of abatement that had to be done. The roof line, everything was completely just in disrepair. The hard part with the historic renovation of these buildings is where you never know what you can get every day.
The facades on the existing building needed to be restored. The damaged original windows were replaced, and paint from the original masonry was removed.
Hired a company to strip the paint, and they actually did a horrible job. They only got like half the paint off, but as they were getting it off, it started to expose some of the old script that had been written on it. And so we thought, stop, just leave it like that, half done, but it gives it a real nice, layers of history, on the building.
Other preserved historic features were also included. The original automobile elevator is used as the entrance to the lobby. Exposed fittings and counterweights in the two-story space are illuminated by a skylight. Elements of the building's history as a stable were also included in the renovation. A block and hayloft door was replaced, and a new alley facade entryway that resembles a stable entrance was added.
We don't have a lot of industrial buildings in DC. It's not like Baltimore where there's like a big brewery on every corner. It's nice to see them being saved.